In this episode of the Human Psyche Project, we're going to talk about the silent cost of being a genius, why your intelligence can make you lonely. This audio recording has subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. We begin with a question that's familiar to many of us. What does it mean to be labeled as smart? For children typically between the ages of 5 and 7, developing interests in singular areas becomes an identity-defining force. We're drawn to our passions like magnets to steel, and the narrowness of these early interests can set the stage for a life of compartmentalized passions. But being labeled as smart comes with pressure. It's not just about curiosity, it's about effortless success. We're taught that intelligence is the key to unlocking doors, achieving goals, and earning recognition. And so, we learn to associate our greatest strength with unyielding expectations. The more we prove ourselves, the more validation we crave. As we grow older, this pressure can become suffocating. Smart kids may avoid activities that require effort, fearing failure and the sting of disappointment. They may isolate themselves from friends who don't share their interests or passions, lest they feel like imposters in a sea of peers who seem to effortlessly grasp concepts. This social withdrawal is a silent cost of being intelligent. But there's another truth here. Cognitive empathy develops in smart kids, allowing them to intuitively understand the emotions and needs of others. However, if these children lack diverse social interactions, this empathetic muscle may atrophy, leaving them ill-equipped to navigate complex emotional landscapes. A defective arrogance can emerge as a defense mechanism against loneliness and low self-esteem. We become overly confident in our intellectual abilities, using them as shields to deflect vulnerability and genuine connection. Intelligence is not designed for emotional support. It's a tool, not a substitute for empathy or understanding. And so, we may misunderstand the needs of those around us, further stunting their emotional growth. So what happens when we're forced to confront this hidden cost? When we realize that our greatest strength can also be our greatest weakness? It's a bittersweet truth. The pain of realization becomes the stepping stone to change. We must redefine our identity, moving beyond intelligence as the sole measure of our worth. Embracing vulnerability is a radical act, one that requires us to take calculated risks and confront our fears head-on. By doing so, we build confidence in our ability to connect with others, even when faced with uncertainty or failure. The key is not to be fearless, but to learn to lean into fear, using it as a catalyst for growth. Fostering emotional connections doesn't have to mean grand gestures. Sometimes, the simplest acts can make the greatest difference. A warm hug, a listening ear, a supportive word, these are the building blocks of meaningful relationships. By incorporating them into our daily lives, we begin to understand that intelligence is not a solo act but a collaborative effort. Lastly, let's acknowledge that growth and progress occur in small, manageable steps. Reducing cognitive load allows us to focus on social skills and emotional health, rather than getting bogged down by the pressure of constant achievement. It's a gentle approach, one that recognizes our inherent value as human beings, regardless of our intellectual prowess. In this journey of self-discovery, we're not just peeling back layers. We're creating new paths, ones that weave together intelligence and empathy, vulnerability, and confidence. By embracing the silent cost of being a genius, we can find a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and each other.